So, good afternoon, students. So, in the previous class, we have discussed about the cellular telephony, and we have discussed the concepts like uh, how the cellular telephony basically works, what are mobile station, what are base stations, and how the things works and how the transmission takes place that we have discussed. And later on, we discussed about the one of the important concept, that is the frequency reuse principle. And then we started our discussion with the different generations of cellular telephony, like we have discussed the first generation, second generation, and so on. So coming to the third generation, this also we have discussed. Like in the earlier generation, it was only meant for the voice-based communication. But it comes to the third generation, we have discussed that, or the important aspect of this third generation of the third generation of cellular telephony is all about the data communication. They are meant, or the third generation telephony is supported like the video conferencing or audio conferencing, video conferencing and video calls and so on. So, or basically data communication, or the concept of internet was established in the cellular telephony, which had the third generation, or the third generation enabled cell phones or the smartphones that you are using all can support the internet connection. So some of the features that we have with related to this third generation are the voice quality comparable to that of the existing public telephone network was improved, and then the data rate, transmission rate of 144 kbps for access in a moving vehicle car. Like when we say about the telephone mobile devices, even when you are traveling or when you are using the vehicles, it supported a good quality of internet connection, and for 2 mbps for the stationary users or at office or home, so on. And it supports for packet switched and circuit switched data services. So it supported these two types of techniques, and a band of 2 gigahertz was used, and bandwidth of 2 megahertz was introduced in case of the third generation. And it provided the basic facility, or it provided the interface to the internet. So these are some of the important characteristics features of the third generation cellular telephony. Next, going ahead with the next topic, and it is very important, that we call about the SONET. Okay, that stands for the synchronous optical network. And also we have another version of it, or another standard we can say, that we call it as the synchronous digital hierarchy. So as you all know that whenever we are transferring the data, or when we are communicating, the data will go always at the, I mean, it will go through the different layers in the OSI model, and at the bottom level we have the uh, physical layer. So our data will be transmitted in terms of analog signals or electrical signals. Can somebody tell me? From the physical layer, electrical signal, obviously. So when we are want to, or if the communication that we are doing, it is having, like say for example, a very short distance, if we have, then it will be good. But whenever we want to communicate with longer distances, we prefer using the, or for example, if you are using the wide area network, or for a transmission communication system to have, where the devices are kept in a far distance, or our communicating devices are present at very, I mean, if they have too much distances, and if you want to improve the quality of data transmission, or if you want to make faster communication, we prefer using the optical fiber, or like in the latest trends, we are not using the regular telephone services. Earlier days we used to have that, but these days, like Geo, and there is another company called as Fast. So they are giving with very like the latest Geo is giving for 1000 per month unlimited data access through the optical fibers. So when we want to use this wide area network, and like for example, to have the video conference and to improve the quality, in such situation we prefer using the optical network. So this was the standard protocol that was introduced to have the longer distance communication, or to have a better quality of communication, even if you are using the video calls or video conferencing and so on. So we we'll be learning about the structure of this SONET, what are the devices that are present in this, and then we'll be studying about the SONET layers. So the standards, the SONET was developed by the ANSI and SDH was developed by the ITUT. So these are the two standards that were introduced in the optical networks, that is the SONET and the SDH. Both are almost similar, but the most or the most of the time we will be preferring to use the synchronous optical network, or we will be using the SONET. So it is basically a standard designed by the ANSI from fiber optic networks, and it provides some guidelines. As we say that it provides a guidelines, it is also a protocol for standardization of fiber optic transmission. So it helps to standardize the fiber optic transmission system, or we can also call it as FOTS, that is the fiber optic transmission system. And it uses, or it equipment sold by the different manufacturers. So different manufacturers use optical fibers, and inside that we can use this SONET architecture, or the SONET system can be used. So it basically makes the fiber optic transmission system easy and flexible. So to make this fiber optic system or a transmission, to make it more flexible and easier one, we prefer using this SONET. And it is based on the concept of the time division multiple access, or we can say the TDM technology is used in the SONET. So let us study about this basic things. So before studying the architecture, let us first understand the architecture of a SONET system. So it consists of some signals, devices, and connections. So what are the signals that it will have? So basically this SONET defines or it provides some standard signals. Like in the electricity also, if you consider, we have different level of signals for different devices. Okay, like for small items, or like let's say for charging of your telephone, for charging of your cell phones and smartphones, you will be using a different level of electrical signal. Similarly, for your televisions and your washing machines and fridge and so on, they use a different level of electrical signals, and it depends on the device and so on. Similarly, in terms of networking as well, it SONET provides some signal level standards, so that based on the standards, or the based on the signal level, you can define, or it will provide a data transmission rate. Okay, so for that we have the something called as the signaling levels. Okay, so it defines a hierarchy of electrical signaling levels, and we call it as the STS. That is the standards that we have. So it is called as the synchronous transport standard. So that we call it as the STS. And each STS level supports an certain data rate. Like you can see that here we have the different standards, and here we have the data transmission rates given in megabits per second. Remember that whenever we are using the small b, it means that it is megabits per second, not the megabytes per second. Like for example, my data transmission rate or my internet is of 2 Mbps. When I say it is 2 megabits per second, and it is not in terms of bytes. Okay, remember this. So now here we can observe. So they have provided certain standards and certain levels they have given, and these are the STS 1, STS 3, and so on. Like you can consider, or you can compare it with like 2 volt, 3 volts, 5 volts. Like this, we have the different electrical signals. Similar to that, these are the some electrical signaling levels that we can have. So STS 1, STS 3, STS 9, and so on. So up to STS 192, we have different level of signals, and it depends on which level of signals you want to use. Say for example, if the distance is very small, and if you want to use optical fibers, and then you can use the STS 1 or STS 3, and so on. As the distance increases between the communicating devices, we can use different, or we can use the higher level of standard signals. And then with this, we have something called as OC. OC are nothing but the optical carriers. or we can consider them as the optical signals. Like basically what we are trying to do is, see, whenever we want to communicate, our data or the information will be converted in terms of small bits or bit patterns of zeros and ones. And how it will travel from the physical layer? It will be in terms of what? It will be in terms of electrical signals or some other signals or analog signals and so on.
Electrical signals.
Everyone agrees to this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what we are trying to do is, instead of sending this data entirely in terms of electrical signals, we are converting these electrical signals into equivalent optical carriers or optical signals. The question is why? The only answer is, the signals that we are using in terms of electrical signals, they will take longer time to travel. So to avoid that, we will be using, or to improve that quality of signals, we are converting those electrical signals in terms of optical carriers. So basically our data, whatever we have, which is in the form of zeros and ones in terms of electrical signals, we are converting them into optical fibers, or we are using the optical carriers. So these are the equivalent standards. Like for STS1 we have OC1, for STS3 we have corresponding optical carriers 3, and so on. And this will be the data transmission rate. And if you observe here, when I'm using this STS3, my data transmission rate is 155.520. So if you consider this one STS1 and if you triple it, so this STS3 is exactly thrice that of the STS1. Can you observe this? This is what analysis we have to do. Similarly, if you consider this STS9 and its data transmission rate is 466.560, it is exactly thrice of this STS3. Okay, and it exactly 9 times that of this STS1, and so on and so forth. So why we have these different kinds of data rates? For example, suppose say that you want to transmit, and if you are not having the OC12 or this STS12 signal is not there, or for example if STS9 signal is not there, but if you are having the signals available with STS1 and STS3, so in such situation what you can do, you can combine the STS1 together and you can make it as one STS9. For example, if I want to make STS9 and assume that you do not have this particular signal level STS9, but I'm having STS1 and STS3. So what I can do, either I can combine 3 STS3 and I can make it as one STS9 signal, or what I can do, I can combine 9 STS1 and I can make it as one STS9. So basically we can do it as a multiplexing, or in the next moment we'll be studying about the devices that are present. So for such regions we are having different level of standards, that is the synchronous transport signal levels. Are we clear with this basics of about the SONET?
Yes, sir.
Others, any doubts or queries?
Sir, why we are using that OC?
That is what OC means, optical signals. That is what I told you. Basically, when the data, when we are communicating, we prefer what this, whether it is like OSI model or just TCP/IP model, whatever it is there. From the application level, data will be moved to the bottom layer. At the bottom, which layer we have? At the bottom in the OSI model, which layer we have? Physical layer, fine. Okay, so in physical layer, what is the task of physical layer, or what are the functions of the physical layer? Transmitting the data in terms of zeros and ones. So when we say we are transmitting in terms of zeros and ones, our data or our information will be in terms of electrical signals. Yes or no? In physical layer, which type of cables we use? Coaxial cables, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So coaxial cable will carry which type of data? I mean, the information it will carry in terms of, it will be basically in the electrical signals, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So that is, it is traveling in terms of zeros and ones, but electrical signals will take more time to travel for long distances. So we prefer using the optical fibers, okay, as a
Oh.
transmission media. Are we clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next, we will be studying about the Sonet devices, or when we say about the Sonet equipment, what all it consists of basically. So this is the most important questions that we have for 5 to 6 marks, or it may be asked for 8 marks as well. So you need to understand the diagram, and the diagram is very, very simple, and explanation is also very simple. So what all it consists of basically, a Sonet equipment. So the Sonet equipment consists of STS mux, and we call it as DMux, and at the end we have the terminals, okay, at both the ends, and then we have something called as EDM, that we call as the add and drop multiplexer, or add or drop multiplexers. Then we have something called as R, those are called as the regenerators, okay. So these are the devices that we have in the Sonet, okay. So let us understand these terms one by one, and then we will look into the working of this. So first thing, we have something called as the terminals. So what are terminals? A terminal is like any device or any equipment that uses the service of the Sonet network. So in terms of internet, terminal can be a router, okay, or it can be any other device, or it can be a computer as well. So that sends packets to another router or other terminals via Sonet network. So terminals can be considered as like a router, we can say. So that is what we call it as the terminals. So these terminals basically will be connected, or they will be connected to the STS multiplexer, or they will be connected to the STS demultiplexers. Okay, so terminal is what? Basically a terminal is a device that uses the services of a Sonet network. For example, in terms of internet, a terminal can be a router, okay, which carries the signals, and it basically, router takes the packets and it will transmit, or it will send these packets to another router, or to some other router which is outside the boundary of the subnet, okay, or which is other side of the Sonet. So here we are considering it as it is transmitting to the other side of the Sonet. Next, we have something about the STS multiplexer and demultiplexer. I hope you have studied this multiplexer and demultiplexer. Can somebody tell me what can be the multiplexer?
Multiplexer combines the signals.
Okay,
Demultiplexers redistributes the signal.
exactly, perfect, very good. So like we said here, in this I had given the example, like suppose say I want to send the signals in terms of STS9, but I am short of these type of signals. So what I can do, I can take 3 STS3 and then I can multiplex it. The same thing can happen in this. So these multiplexers and demultiplexers are used to combine these signals from the different terminals, and they will make it to one particular signal, okay. So they basically mark the beginning points and end points of the Sonet link. So basically they mark the beginning and end points. So multiplexer are the beginning point, and the demultiplexers mark the end point of the Sonet link. So they provide the interface between a electrical network and the optical network. So when we say that the terminals, like the routers, they will be sending the data in terms of packets, and those signals here, the 3 lines you can consider from 3 T's. So they will be in terms of the electrical signals. And what these STX multiplexer will do, they will combine these electrical signals, and they will make it one signal which will be in terms of optical signals. So an STS multiplexer multiplexes the different signals from multiple electrical sources, and it basically creates corresponding or equivalent optical carriers, or it will create its optical carrier signals, and then it sends to the next device. So that is the basic task of the STS multiplexer. So before going ahead with that, we will understand these some other things. So in this, we have something called as the section, line, and path. So let us understand this. What is a section, what is a line, and what is a path? So a section is the optical link connecting two neighboring devices. So that we call it as the section. So what is a section? A section can be a link, okay, or you can say an optical link, basically, because these pink colored signals that we can see, these will be always in the optical signals, okay, because we say that Sonet equipment carries the optical signals, or they carry the optical carriers. So link between any two neighboring devices, or a optical link between any two neighboring devices in the Sonet equipment, we call it as the section. It can be from a multiplexer to a regenerator, or it can be from one regenerator to another regenerator, or it can be from regenerator to add or drop multiplexer, and so on. So between any two neighboring devices with the optical signal, it is not like from terminal to multiplexer. This is not a section. A section can be only from this. So that we call it as the section. And next we have the line. So can you define, similar to the section, what can be a line? From this diagram you can understand.
Connecting two neighboring sections.
Not sections. Here we have the STS multiplexer, here we have the demultiplexer, and these are the add or drop multiplexers. So line, or it is a portion of the network between two multiplexers, okay, from multiplexer to add or drop multiplexer, or from add or drop multiplexer to demultiplexer. Or for example, suppose say that there is no add or drop multiplexer directly. If there is from one multiplexer to another demultiplexer, that entire thing we can call it as a line. And then so STS multiplexer to add or drop multiplexer from here to here, or from add or drop multiplexer to demultiplexers from here to here, we call it as a line. And then what is a path? From this diagram, what you can understand a path? So basically a path is a end-to-end connection, we can say. So it is the end-to-end portion of the network between two STS multiplexers, or it can be between from the STS multiplexers to a demultiplexer, but it should be from end to end. Okay, this from multiplexer to the add or drop multiplexer, it cannot be called as a path, because it should be always from end to end, or you can say from source to destination. Or if we consider here, we are considering in a simple Sonet of two STS multiplexers. Here we are considering it as two STS multiplexers linked directly to each other. The section, line, and path are the same. So if there is no regenerator or there is no add and drop multiplexer, then the section, line, and path all will become same. The point here is, so consider that here I have a multiplexer. Sorry, here I have a multiplexer, and here I have a demultiplexer, or another multiplexer you can say. So only if this is I have used in my equipment, then the section, and there are no regenerators, or in between there are no add or drop multiplexer. If I have only this, that is from one multiplexer to another demultiplexer, if I have this, then the section, line, and path all means the same. Are we clear with these concepts? What is the section, line, and path?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now we'll see about the working of this. So we have discussed about the terminals, and we have discussed about the STS multiplexers. So what multiplexer will do? They will take the incoming electrical signals, or they provide the interface for the electrical and optical network. or they provide the interface. So they will take the electrical signals from the different terminals and they will combine and they will make them into equivalent or proper respective optical carriers, and these STS multiplexer will transmit these optical carriers to the regenerators. So what these regenerators will do, we have discussed with in terms of the bus topology, we have discussed something called as repeaters. What these repeaters will do?
They
Strengthen the signal.
regenerate the
Uh,
optical signals.
okay, so here they will not only do that. Basically regenerators are used like for example, when you are sending these signals, whether you are sending the electrical signals or optical signals, any type of network we take, we use these repeaters or regenerators, because during the transmission there can be possibility of noise or there can be possibility of congestion. Okay, because of that the signal strength will be reduced or it will lose its quality. So to improve the quality of that, regenerators will be used. So basically here, apart from strengthening the levels of the signals, regenerators will accept the optical carriers first. Okay, because the pink color shows that STS multiplexer has forwarded the optical signals. So the regenerators will first receive the optical signals and then it demodulates it. So you may be knowing it, modulation and demodulation. So it will demodulates into the electrical signals first, because before it enhances the capacity of the signal, it has to convert it to electrical signal. So what this regenerator will do, it will take the optical signals first and then it will demodulate into again back to the respective electrical signals. Then it will strengthen the signal, and before it forwards, again it will make into the optical signals and then it will transfer it. And finally we can say it will modulates the electrical signal into the corresponding electrical signal, or in simple terms, so regenerator will accept the optical signals, I will say write it as O, and then it will modulates or say demodulates into electrical signals. Okay, and after sending making it to electrical signals, it regenerates the signal, or I will show it as it will enhances the signal strength and then it has to send it into the again in terms of optical signals. So what it will do, again it will modulate these strengthened links or the signals into again back to the optical signals, or we can say optical carriers. Are we clear with this?
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
again we have back as the optical carriers. Like here we are showing that there are two regenerators or repeaters, but in reality there can be n number of regenerators or repeaters. It depends on the distance of communication. Okay, so again it will be sent to the next regenerator in the path or in the communication channel, and the same thing will take place here as well. Then these will be transferred to the add or drop multiplexers. What these add or drop multiplexer will do basically, so add and drop multiplexers can add or and STS coming from different sources into a given path, or they can remove the signals if there are some noise in the channel, or if the signals are very weak, they can delete those signals, or they can add some extra signals into that. If there are signals, if they are coming from the multiple sources. So like here the signals are coming from this regenerator, but there can be different regenerators that can be also connected to this. So the add and drop multiplexers allow insertion, or we can say the extraction of the signals. So they can add the STS coming from different sources into a given path, and it can remove it from the desired signal, or they can remove a desired signal from a path, and then it will transfer it to the next regenerator. Again the same thing will take place at this. So this regenerator is at the destination level, we can say, and then again we have the STS demultiplexers. So what this demultiplexer will do? It will be exactly the opposite task of the multiplexer. So demultiplexer will receive which type of signals? Electrical or optical?
Optical.
Exactly, very good. So then what it has to do? It has to distribute those optical signals into equivalent which signals?
Electrical signals.
Okay. So it will take these optical carrier signals and it will convert, or it will make them into, or demodulates into demultiplexer, and it will redistribute into the equivalent electrical signals, and then it will distribute to the terminals. And again at the destination machine, we are receiving the data in terms of what? Zeros and ones, or it will be in terms of electrical signals. So this is how the SONET equipment is made up of. So this is how basically the fiber optics works. Are we clear with this working of it? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we can see that performs multiplexing of signals, converts electrical signal into optical signals. Demultiplexer performs the demultiplexing of signals, converts optical signals into electrical signals. Regenerator, or it is like a repeater that takes an optical signal and regenerates, increases the strength. So before it actually does that, it will basically, it has to convert into electrical signal, then it will strengthen it, and then again it will convert it back to optical carriers or optical signals, and then it will send it. And then the add and drop multiplexer. So you need to write the diagram in the examination. And then you have to explain what is a section, what is a line, what is a path, and then you need to, okay, when you draw this diagram, write all these things. ADM stands for STS mux, STS demux, regenerator, terminal. So what is a terminal and what is a multiplexer and demultiplexer? Then you have to write the working. Can somebody explain the working of it? Meanwhile, you can give the attendance. Can somebody explain the working of it? Very, very important for the examination. Just you need to understand this. From the terminals can be any routers. So from this, electrical signals will be fed into the multiplexer. It will combine those electrical signals and it will convert into the equivalent optical carrier signals, and that will be sent to the regenerators. Regenerator accept the optical signals, then it demodulates into the electrical signal, then it will strengthen the capacity of the signals, and again it will modulate back into the optical carriers, and so on. It will reach to the add and drop multiplexers. And you can see that these add and drop multiplexers are not compulsory. It depends on the destination, I mean where that destination device is kept. And then we have the regenerator at the destination machine. The same task will be taken care, will be done here, and demultiplexer will redistribute the optical signals by converting them into the electrical signals, and then it will be sent to the terminals. Very, very important, can be asked for 5 to 6 marks or maybe for 8 marks. So either this question or SONET equipment or the SONET architecture, and or otherwise there is SONET layers that we'll be discussing. So either of them will be asked surely. Next, we have something called as the SONET layers. So the SONET standard, like we have the OSM model, it also has got some layers. Okay, the SONET standard includes 4 functional layers that we call as the photonic, section, the line, and the path layer. So like if you compare the, or they are given the comparison of this your OSM model. So in the OSM model, we have the data link layer and physical layer. So similar to that, the path layer, line layer, and section layer all will work at the data link layer, and the photonic layer is similar to that of the physical layer. That is, in the OSM model, the functionalities that we do with the physical layer, the same functionality will be carried out with the photonic layer. Similar to that, the tasks or the functionalities provided by the data link layer in the OSM model, the same tasks will be provided by the, or they will be done by the path layer, line layer, and the section layer. So like this, we have the different hierarchy in the SONET layer. So this is the device layer relationship in the SONET. So this is what we have discussed. So this is what basically happens. So from the electrical signals, it will carry on to path, line, section, photonic, and then it will, during the transmission, it will be always optical signal. So what is this? Can you identify? Here you can see that it is a photonic, like it is done in the optical. Again, above this regenerator, we can see that it will be converted back, and then again it will be regenerated, and then again it has to be passed as a optical signal only, and so on and so forth, and it will reach the destination machine. Next, we'll be studying about the SONET frames. Can be the how the data will be transmitted, or what can be the frame size. Like we have packets, frames, and so on. So SONET carries these data in terms of frames. How the frames are, or what is the frame structure basically of a SONET, that we'll be discussing. So like for every standard, we have different frame structure. We will be studying what only with STS1. Anybody has any doubts?
No, sir.
Others?